From the abyss they came. Whispers first, then shadows. Legends whispered of their birth, shrouded in darkness, veiled in ancient magic. Some say they were born from the echoes of a fallen god, others from the nightmares of mortals given form. Their true origin remains a mystery, a secret buried beneath layers of fear and forgotten lore. Their leader, a figure known only as the Obsidian General, emerged from the void. His eyes, two burning embers, held the wisdom of eons and the cold, calculating gaze of a predator. He sought those with hearts filled with darkness, those who embraced pain and sought power beyond mortal comprehension. He offered them a choice: embrace the shadow or be consumed by it. Many answered his call. Driven by ambition, revenge, or the sheer thrill of destruction, they flocked to his banner. They came from all walks of life. Fallen kings, rogue mages, desperate souls seeking purpose in chaos. Each bore a darkness within them, a seed of potential that the Obsidian General promised to cultivate into something terrible and magnificent. The training of the Shadow Legion was not for the faint of heart. It was a crucible, designed to break the weak and forge the strong into weapons of unparalleled lethality. From the moment an initiate swore allegiance to the Obsidian General, they surrendered their former lives, their identities subsumed into the collective will of the Legion. They trained beneath the crimson light of a dying sun, their bodies pushed to the limits of endurance. Pain was their constant companion, a tool to hone their senses, to strip away weakness and fear. They sparred with blades that whispered of forgotten curses, their bodies scarred and hardened by each blow. Their instructors, veterans of countless campaigns, showed no mercy. They were unforgiving taskmasters, pushing each recruit to the brink of collapse and beyond. Those who faltered were discarded, their screams lost to the howling winds that swept across the Legion's desolate training grounds. Only the strong survived, their bodies and minds tempered into instruments of war. The path of the Shadow Legion demanded more than mere physical prowess. It required a sacrifice of the soul. To wield the shadows, one had to become one with them, to embrace the darkness that lurked within their hearts. It was a perilous transformation, one that shattered the spirit and left it twisted, a reflection of the abyss from which the Legion drew its power. Rituals, ancient and profane, were performed beneath the light of a blood moon. The initiates drank from poisoned chalices, their bodies racked by agony as the darkness seeped into their very being. They stared into mirrors that reflected back their deepest fears, forced to confront the monsters within before they could hope to master the shadows without. This sacrifice was absolute, irrevocable. Once made, there was no turning back. The initiates were reborn as legionnaires, their humanity shed like a serpent's skin. They became extensions of the Obsidian General's will, their lives forfeit to the eternal war that raged within their souls. The transformation did not end with the rituals. It was a continuous process, a descent into the abyss that grew deeper with each passing day. The legionnaires learned to embrace the pain, to draw strength from the darkness that threatened to consume them. They became predators, their hearts hardened against mercy, their souls stained with the blood of their enemies. They stalked battlefields like wraiths, their armor black as midnight, their faces hidden behind masks of bone and steel. They wielded weapons imbued with shadow magic, their blades leaving trails of darkness in their wake. Their enemies, consumed by terror, spoke of demons given form, of nightmares made flesh. And in a way they were right. The Shadow Legion had become the embodiment of the abyss, a force of destruction that knew no equal. They were the storm that swept across the land, leaving only ruin in its wake. They were the harbingers of chaos, the bringers of oblivion. Within the heart of the Legion's fortress, carved from obsidian and bone, the Obsidian General surveyed his creation. His eyes, cold and calculating, missed nothing. He saw the darkness that burned within each of his legionnaires, the hunger for battle that consumed them. He smiled, a chilling, predatory expression that spoke of endless possibilities. The Legion was ready. Forged in pain, tempered in shadow, they had become the instrument of his will. They would be his blade, his instrument of vengeance. He would unleash them upon the world, and they would carve a path of destruction that would echo through the ages. There would be no rest for the wicked, no peace for the damned. The Shadow Legion was coming, and in their wake only darkness would remain. The drums of war pounded like a heartbeat, a relentless rhythm that echoed across the land. The Shadow Legion marched beneath a sky choked with smoke, their banners snapping in the wind like the wings of 1,000 ravens. They were an unstoppable tide of darkness, their armor gleaming with the promise of violence. Their eyes, cold and merciless, stared out from behind their masks, fixed on the horizon. They yearned for battle, craved the clash of steel, the taste of blood. They had been forged for this moment, shaped by pain and sacrifice into weapons of unparalleled lethality. Eternal war awaited. The Shadow Legion, a force of darkness unleashed upon the world, would embrace it with open arms. For they were the storm, the bringers of oblivion, and the world would tremble before their might.